I would like to talk to everyone real quickly about something I think we were intended to take notice of. More or less a sign of the times. Now, I have not seen the first Expendables yet. I have seen the second one. I just got this one today. And it looks pretty interesting. It's got so many of our favorite actors in it, and it was a film that I was really intending to see back when it first came out, because I've always wanted Stallone to make a comeback. He is a very humble, excellent, talented individual who is greatly underestimated in some circles of the Hollywood community, and he's always hard at work. He's always doing something, and he's got a lot of creativity, and he likes to bring people together as well. And this is something that I bet he probably would have wanted to do even in the prime of his career, when he was in competition with others in the action field. And actually, strike one comment from the record real quick. I didn't mean to say that he's not. He's in the prime of his career even now. I mean, you can't exactly keep Stallone down, and he has finally proven it with these Expendables examples. But the thing I'm coming to you today is not to tell you how good or bad the Expendables films are, or let you know so much about the content itself, as much as the symbols that appear on this. On the front of this of these cases and in their movie posters, and something that I think we were intended to take notice of in the world today, and things that can be a sign of things to come, as you will. Now you'll notice, and as I give you an example. As I talk to you about what I'm going to talk to you today, I don't want any of you to think that Sylvester Stallone is sitting in a corner somewhere plotting the New World Order or anything like that. And as you will see towards the end of this video, there's a redemption. The first cover has kind of some dark implications, and then the second cover has some rather excellent light implications to it, and I want to go over it to you right now. And I think these are unintentional things. Whoever made the Expendables posters were probably just wanting to make them look as cool as possible by getting all the stars on the front and making this kind of scary looking thing with skull with the weapons around it that'll make people want to come see the movie, because they want to feel emotion, they want to feel impacted, they want to get some kind of feeling over them. But one thing I would bring to your attention today is that now you have, with the Expendables, number one, with the symbol, which kind of gave me a little bit of disturbance. It's a death's head surrounded by an angel wings made up of arms. So and of course he's facing the pit with his. There's a glint of fire in the mask of this skull, and of course it's metallic, as in symbolizing technology, which is kind of an interesting thing for these end days, in a time when we're so technologically obsessed, and in a time when the second coming of Christ, both the second coming of Christ is near, as well as the coming of Lucifer before Christ to deceive the world and fool many into following him. And on this occasion, with the Expendables, you have every action. You have every possible action. You have like a world order, as you will, of action stars, like one of every different nationality, and coming together behind, being led by this death's head skull. The angel of death. And then you have in this instance Stallone wearing a necklace with a knife around his with a knife on it rather than kind of symbolic of people worshiping arms. Which, by the way, I really love action movies a lot. But if you ever get to the point of actually worshiping war or living living by the sword and dying by the sword, in this instance, he who lives by the sword will die by the sword, and he's and this leader of theirs is behind the symbol of the death's head. And as you can see, he's wearing sunglasses, indicating that he's blinded or kind of confused, just as Lucifer confuses people. Now this is the first Expendables movie, and I want to show you something interesting that happens when we go to Expendables Part 2. Here we see the death's head symbol removed, and everybody is sitting in a flame pit. But they're not getting burned, and Stallone is in the midst of it. He's got his eyes wide open. He's wearing a cross around his neck, now living by Christ rather than by the sword. He's got his eyes open and his arms open. He's not doing that little pouty arms cross gesture that some guys do when they're kind of posturing. He's a little more open, and he's got his eyes open. He's also a little more humble. He doesn't have that kind of arrogant smirk that is symbolic of Cain and of the devil, and of their attitude problems. He's got his eyes open. He's a little more humble, and he's looking on. He's got some people behind him to varying degrees. The new person who is shaded is the addition of Van Damme, who plays the Satan worshiping guy with the goat tattoos on his neck. The pet of Satan, as you will. I've seen Expendables 2. I watched them out of order, and this was the first one I got. Another thing I wanted to tell you, and this is again, don't be thinking evil things about Stallone or any of these actors or anything. They're just entertainers, and they're doing excellent things. But somehow or another, there's 9 men featured on the cover of this the first one, and then there's 11 featured on the cover of this next one. Kind of 9/11 maybe. Again, some of these numbers are important to remember. If you look up biblical numerics, you'll find a few interesting things. Just don't get obsessed about it or anything like that. But it's something to see and observe. A lot of us are watchmen, and here in this instance, Stallone is standing in the midst of the fire, and he is not getting burned, as is the way that God's holy fire is. For those who he protects, the fire will not burn you, and for those that he intends to destroy, the fire will consume them. And the one thing that is not present here is the death's head, angel skull or whatever, with the weapons and everything. And I think at the beginning of the second Expendables movie, that death's head angel thing right here exploded and was destroyed. So maybe, I don't know if he brought it back for the third one or not. I haven't seen the third one. I don't know if anyone has seen the third one yet. I guess it's on the way. And but these are just interesting things to see, and I don't know if I'm going to share. I guess if you're watching this video now, obviously I've published it on YouTube. I don't like to bring these things up to people over and over again, to just in case they might misunderstand me and think I'm against Stallone and a lot of these great actors or anything. I think they're excellent, and this is a wonderful, pretty cool movie. But sometimes, whether advertently or not, things can be seen that they might not always intend to be seen, and these things can tell you a lot. If you ever listen to Ozzy sometimes, and don't be thinking that Ozzy's a Satan worshiper or anything like that. Actually, he is kind of weird. I don't know what he believes or doesn't believe. He seems to be a Christian, but then again, over in England, they kind of have the Church of England, and it's not always on the level. But whatever Ozzy Osbourne is, and maybe I'll do this in the next video. The Blizzard of Oz album has a lot of interesting things in it. If you're a person who knows the Bible and the end times and the second coming of Christ and the second coming of the false Christ before Christ, and this is something again where we could be deceived. And Stallone is a conservative fellow. I think he's Republican. I listened to him an interview with him from Michael Savage. He's also half Jewish, and Jewish Italian. No, he's a quarter Jewish, I think. I don't know. I don't want to bring up too many things about ethnicities here, except to say that. I'll leave that to all your imaginations. Anyway, thanks a bunch. You have a wonderful, excellent days. God bless you, and farewell. Bye.